First of all, sorry to keep you waiting, but what that coach, Coach Painter's done for me in my career, I'm going to talk to him after the game. We're going to spend some time talking. We're going to talk about our teams, and I'm going to call him and try and get help from him too, right? Hopefully we won't have to play him again, but we can help each other now. I thought our guys really fought and competed. We knew how tough this game was going to be. They had lost, the game before, and we talked about what they were doing in practice and how hard those practices were going to be. But also, that doesn't have anything to do with us. We play hard because we're supposed to play hard every single time, whether we won 2 games in a row, lost 2 games in a row, whether we're playing the number 3 team in the country or the number 353 team in the country, and our guys are doing that. And I'm proud of their effort. I hate losing. You guys know this. I hate losing. But when you prepare the right way, when you play and you leave everything out there on the court, you can feel okay with the results. And I feel okay with the results. Like I said, I hate losing. But we were a good version of ourselves, and we left everything on the court. And we'll get back to work tomorrow and get ready for Rutgers.
Micah, it seemed like Seth couldn't really get going in the first half. How much of that was what you guys were doing offensively, and how much was he was spending a lot of energy guarding Chayton Ivey at times too?
Yeah, he's guarded. Really this whole season, he's been on the best player on the other team almost every game, if they have a wing player that's like that. So I think he's okay. I don't think that really took anything from him. They did a good job of kind of in our split cuts taking away the initial handoffs or the quick hitting ball screen and things that we wanted to do. They just made that tough on us. And I think he was slow to get going in that way because they were denying him the ball on those cuts. So we needed to do a better job of cutting, tight curling to get him off of our bodies a little bit, or using the 5 and then screening. So we tried to do more of that. But I think late he got some open shots just, off Pickett drawing a lot of help. So, those are all things that we got to continue to correct. And, we need to be better out of timeouts. When we have opportunities to get him the ball and do stuff for him, we got to be locked into that, and we got to execute. And, that'll help him get more shots as well.
What are the positive residuals of a game where maybe at the end of the day they're just a little bit better than you, and it's not so much that you shot yourself in the foot or didn't play well, you do a lot of the things that you want to do, and they just beat you? Is there a residual there that you can kind of work with moving forward?
I don't know. The residual of that kind of ruins my night, I guess. I'm going to walk upstairs and I'm going to watch this film and figure out how we can get better. The residual of this is, I'm going to always fight for our program. I'm going to do that first and foremost. What I don't like, and I feel disrespect. I get disrespected over everything, though, so you got to take this with a grain of salt. I don't like when people say that loss sucks for Indiana and that's a bad loss. We're not a bad team. We're not. If you look at the teams that have beaten us, Miami's 12-3. Should be ranked, close to being ranked. I don't know. We've lost to Michigan State, who's ranked probably top 10 in the country. We've lost to Ohio State. We've lost to LSU, who are all in the top 25. Right? There's 4. There's 4 losses. Now we've lost to Purdue, who's number 3 in the country. So, we're not a bad team. It's taken us a little time to get where we want to be. But, if people want to come in here and take us lightly, they can do that every day of the week that they want to. But I'm always going to fight for this group. They play as hard as possible. We just went toe-to-toe with the number 3 team in the country. On the glass, matched their intensity, shot the same from basically 3, the free throw line, from the field, everything else. So people that don't watch basketball think this is a bad loss when people come in here and get beat, right? watch the game, understand the game, think about the game, and then make your decision about what's a bad loss and what isn't.
Hey, Micah, are there challenges that come when you prepare a scouting report all week for a team that's going to have a giant center on the floor all the time, and then they don't because of foul trouble? At the end of the first half, obviously they played without Travion and Zach on the floor. Were there challenges to that too on the fly, kind of in a backhanded sort of way?
Not too much. We didn't really prepare for Caleb to play the 5, but it kind of goes back to, they're not going to run as much stuff in the post for him, right? Like, it's going to be more ball screen actions for Jaden or more things for Sasha. But, like, we just go back to playing our regular defense and how we do it. It just kind of adjusts to who's doing what, who's doing where. You just know. Like, Caleb First is a good player, though, right? They could throw it to him and get a bucket. He's a McDonald's All-American. He's a really good player. But it didn't change, like, how we prepared or what we did or had to adjust. We just knew. Like, we always talk about, where's the fire, right? Like, the fire is Travion and Zach in the post. The fire is Sasha running off those screens. Well, if Zach and Travion aren't in, the fire adjusts. The fire goes somewhere else, and then you have to, take care of that.
Just the impact Mason Gillis had on the game.
Yeah, huge shots, just huge shots. We talked about his rebounding. With this team, you have to pick and choose, right? Like, you can't take everything away. There's a bunch of dudes that can shoot, and they have 2 monsters in the paint. And then guys rebounding on the glass. Like, what do you take away versus the number 1 offensive team in the country? You have to kind of cat and mouse Mason Gillis a little bit and try and, like, he's got to beat you, right? Like, can't let Sasha beat you, can't let the bigs beat you. They can't, get kick out open shots for Isaiah. And Mason, like, kudos to him. He made some huge shots, big shots for them down the stretch. And, sometimes you got to take a gamble. Sometimes the gamble works for you, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not much of a gambler. I'm pretty cheap with my money.
Micah, how do you think your team played overall tonight, guarding Jaden and Travion, and overall, what still needs to improve down the stretch?
Yeah, I thought we did. I thought we did pretty well defensively. They scored 74 points. I don't know what they came in averaging, but they're a lot. 89, something like that. Like, we got them to play more of our tempo, more in half court, play against half court defense. We did a great job of getting back. They're so good. Jaden's so good at pushing the ball in transition, getting to the basket or kicking it out for threes, and we tried to eliminate that, and I thought we did. And then we forced it into a half court game, and then you just do the best you can. And I thought our guys did that. I thought we fought like as hard as we could, and there were some things that, like, we played some zone. We played 3 different zones, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But you got to change things up. They're so good at reading what you do and getting into the feel of things and into a rhythm. They make it hard on you. Like, for us, we have to play the exact same way. With the way we compete, the effort we play with, the togetherness we play with. We have to play the exact same way, no matter if, like I said, if we're playing number 3 in the country or number 353, we have to do the exact same way. And that gives us a chance every night. It gave us a chance against Indiana. It gave us a chance against Northwestern. It gave us a chance against Purdue. And it'll give us a chance against Rutgers.
Mike, it's kind of tough to fixate on the last 2 minutes when you made 9 straight going into it, but did you like the looks that you got at the end, and just kind of how you came out of that?
Yeah, it allowed them to kind of take away what we were doing, like when they got up. Like, Travion gets a 3-point play, now we're down a little bit more. Now we have to kind of change what we're doing, try and get a quick one here because we're up against the clock a little bit. And so that took us away from what we wanted to do, right? If it's a 2-point game or a 3-point game, 1-point game, we probably stay with what we were doing in the pick and roll. but we had to change it, try and get a quick bucket out of a timeout. They took it away, what we were looking for, and then we were scrambled a little bit there at the end. I didn't want to burn another timeout coming out of the side out, just because like now you're down to 0 and you can't draw up anything late if you need it. So, we executed for a long time. Like, we executed better as the game went on. There's 2 games in a row. We've gotten better as the game goes on because we're starting to see different things, and our guys are doing a great job of reading what the defense is doing, and then, we go on a barrage of shot making.
Micah, what has Greg Lee's presence unlocked for you guys, whether it's on the glass or offensively, and what impact did he have tonight?
Yeah, Greg. Like, we obviously miss Greg, right, at the start of the season. Not having him until right before Christmas. And then the time that he would have had, like, he needed the 3 games that we missed more than anybody to get his rhythm back. He got it a little bit. Greg can really score the ball. He can score the ball. We can throw it to him in the post. He can score. He can step out, face up, and shoot. And when we need some baskets, we got it to him around the basket. And he made some nice plays. We didn't hit him, right? We didn't make those threes, but he made nice reads when people start doubling. He's a weapon for us. And since he's been back, since we've been back since Christmas, right, we were plus 10 on the glass against Indiana. We were plus 12 on the glass at Northwestern. And we go even against Purdue, right? Like, we're starting to dominate on the glass, and he's doing it. His effort, John's effort, Jelani White's effort, total team. But those 3 guys are doing a great job, and we got to keep Greg's rhythm going, and because he can help us, he can get us easy baskets, which is what we need.
Some more questions, John and Ben?
Micah, you talked earlier this week a lot about this game and how close you were with a lot of people at Purdue. What were your emotions like leading up to this game, and did you feel like any of that bled into the game once it tipped off?
I don't, not really. Not really. I knew this would be a tough game. It's not the first time I've done it, right? I've coached other places and left and had to coach against them again. So, like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I think, once the game got going, you're not even thinking about who's down on the other sideline. You're just competing. I saw a bunch of those guys before the game, right? So you get some of that out of the way. But, like, we're all friends. But we're all competitors. And, like, they want to win that game as bad as we wanted to win that game. And that was it. That was all my whole mindset. I'm pretty I don't even know what to say. I got like a one-track mind. And I was just locked into trying to help us win. And I knew Coach Paint was going to do that. And, like, and then once it was over, like, it's over, right? Sorry I made you guys wait because I was out there talking to him about different things. Not even about the game. He's telling me stories about stuff that happened. If you guys know Coach Painter, he likes to tell stories. But we were out there. He's telling me stories about different things that happened in practice and everything else. So now I can call him more and ask him questions about other teams when we start playing. So I guess that's the benefit of this.
You talked about watching film of this game. When you sort of self-evaluate yourself after a game, which I guess is what self-evaluation means, what are sort of the check boxes that you want to check off of this was a well-coached game, I'm satisfied, if you're ever satisfied with how you handled things for the most part?
Yeah. We got since we've come back from Christmas, and I had those days off, and I talked about it, I think, after the Indiana game. We really went back and looked at what was working and what wasn't working. Here's the areas we need to improve on. Here's what we're doing. So I just look at those areas. What's our transition defense look like? Are we doing a good job there? What's our three-point defense look like? Are we doing a good job there? Like, go the other side of the ball. Our turnovers, I'll look at those, how they're happening. I'll look at our offensive rebounding and if we're doing well there. So I go back and check those areas. And then, after that, then I'll probably figure out how can I put, like, where are the areas I can help us, maybe get easier shots or, what can we do to do something better? I mean, I think it may not look like it, but we changed some stuff up. It probably all looks the same to you, but based on how they were going to guard us, based on their personnel, there were like 2 or 3 different things that we were going to try and stay in offensively and just run those to get the best action. So, did those work? Did those not work? Is that something like you may not see it again the rest of the season, right? It may not. There may not be another team where it would work against. So it could be something completely different against Rutgers. So that's what I look at. The opportunities of, can we get easier shots? Can I help us defensively? Should we have stayed man or zone? I'll take a look at that stuff. But we gave an effort. We gave our best effort, and that's all I care about.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.